Hi, my name is Anna, and I work with people's thinking patterns using various transformational tools, games, metaphorical cards, and aroma psychology. I'm constantly exploring new methods and integrating them into practice at my retreat center in Bali. A year ago, I came across the archetype system for the first time, and since then, it has become the focus of my research. This podcast is based on that exploration. Here, we will talk about archetypal thinking, inner growth, and how to better understand yourself. When we hear the word archetype, it may sound abstract or distant, but in truth, archetypes are very concrete. They're behavioral patterns, internal roles, reactions, the roles we step into every single day. Some of us are currently living in the hero's journey, some are struggling with their shadow, some are stuck in the role of the rescuer and call it love. So where did this idea come from? Carl Jung was the first to introduce the concept of the archetype into psychological science as a universal image living in the collective unconscious. He discovered that regardless of time or culture, people see the same recurring symbols in dreams, myths, arts, and religion. He outlined several key archetypes. Persona, the mask we wear to meet the world's expectations. Shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny, but which still influence us. Anima and animus, the inner feminine in a man and the inner masculine in a woman. Self, the archetype of wholeness, the mature self we strive toward. These are not just terms, they're inner forces that guide us, sometimes against our conscious will. Understanding them is the first step toward inner freedom. But long before Jung gave archetypes their names, humanity was already living them. Myths, fairy tales, and legends all follow a universal storyline. Joseph Campbell, a mythologist who spent his life studying cultures around the world, noticed that nearly all great stories follow the same structure. He called it the hero's journey. And it's not just a literary technique, it's a spiritual and psychological roadmap. The hero's journey reflects inner transformation. The hero receives a call. At first he refuses. Then a mentor appears. He undergoes trials, faces darkness, dies, and is reborn and returns with a gift. His journey is universal. We all walk it again and again. In relationships, in career, spiritual crisis, archetypal thinking is recognizing your story as a part of a greater myth. But what about the feminine experience in all of this? Why does one woman value marriage and children, while in other places the highest importance on independence and achievement? Why do we see a woman as an extroverted and logical professional in one setting and then watch her turn into an introverted homebody in another? In the late 20th century, psychiatrist and Jungian analyst Shinoda Bolen introduced a model of feminine archetypes based on Greek goddesses, each representing a distinct facet of feminine nature. Dr. Bolen explains that the more complex a woman is, the more likely it is that many goddesses have been awakened within her. Artemis, the goddess of the sun and the moon, embodies the feminine spirit that is independent and achievement-oriented. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and the patron of science and craft, represents a logical, self-assured woman who is guided more by her head than her heart. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, embodies a patient and devoted woman who finds comfort in solitude and radiates a sense of inner wholeness. Hera, the goddess of marriage, symbolizes a woman who sees her roles as a student, professional, or even a mother as a secondary to her primary goal, finding a husband. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility, represents a woman's deep desire to nourish her children, both physically and spiritually. Persephone, the maiden and queen of the underworld, expresses a woman's tendency toward receptivity and passivity, as well as her deep need to be liked and desired. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, is an alchemical goddess who governs love, sensuality, sexuality, and attraction. She inspires women to fulfill both their creative and reproductive potentials. These archetypes don't categorize women. They show that within each of us lives a whole pantheon of energies, and we can consciously activate whichever part we need. In some time, I will dive deeper into these feminine archetypes. Together, we will explore how to understand ourselves through these symbolic figures and how they show up in our daily lives. In aroma psychology, which I study and teach, the theory of archetypes has also found a deep and beautiful expression. We speak of the aromatic language of how a person relates to the world, a language where each essential oil is not just a scent, but a carrier of archetypal energy. Using essential oils, we describe male and female psychotypes, identifying how someone interacts with life through the body, emotions, mind, or intuition. We also examine a model of psychological maturation in women through the development of aromatic psychotypes, from childlike dependence and the need for care, through rebellion and identity seeking, to inner sovereignty and embodied feminine presence. This is a subtle and powerful way to read archetypes through the body, the breath, and the subconscious. Working with oils is not just about understanding, it's about activating an archetype, filling ourselves with its energy and resource. If you like to explore archetypes in connection with essential oils, I invite you to my School of Aroma Psychology Essential Mandala, where we go deep into how scent becomes a tool for transformation, gentle, embodied, and honest. When it comes to practical application, one of the most precise and transformative archetypal systems is that of Carol Pearson. She proposed 12 archetypes, organized by 4 core human motivations. Yearning for paradise, innocent, seeker, and sage, leaving a mark on the world, warrior, destroyer, and magician, building connection with the others, orphan, lover, and jester, creating structure and order, caregiver, creator, and ruler. Archetypes are also grouped by internal focus. Ego archetypes, innocent, warrior, orphan, caregiver. Soul archetypes, seeker, destroyer, lover, and creator. Self archetype, sage, magician, jester, ruler. This is the alphabet of the psyche, and any other archetype system can be broken down into Pearson's 12. If we want to truly understand ourselves, learning this archetypal alphabet is a great place to begin. Too often, archetypes are treated like personal labels. I am Aphrodite, I have always been like that, I'm not the family type, I'm Demeter, I live for my children, I'm Artemis, I don't need close relationships. But an archetype is not your personality, it's a strategy for engaging with the world, and we can use it automatically as a habitual pattern, struggle to access it if it's underdeveloped, consciously choose to use it when it serves us, or even consciously choose not to use it because it doesn't align with our path at a given time. Learning to work with the archetypes is like learning a new language, the language of decision, behaviors, and inner responses. This is why I love Pearson's model. It helps us unpack our inner world, recognize which archetypal strategies are active, which are missing, and which are repressed. When we identify the roles we are playing, we become alchemists of our own seer, blending new states of being, straightening what's weak, letting go of outdated scripts, and finally, no longer clinging to a single identity. This is the path to inner freedom. Archetypes become keys, not cages. If this kind of approach resonates with you, one that is systematic, intuitive, and empowering, then don't miss the next episode. I will be sharing the archetypal matrix, a model that builds on Pearson's systems, enhanced with insights from development psychology. We will explore which archetypes tend to be activated at different life stages, how to avoid getting stuck in immature strategies, and how to progressively move from the junior archetypes to the more mature ones, shaping a new quality of thought and presence in the world. If you are ready to explore yourself on a deeper level, stay tuned.